Okay, so here we go. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. Anyway, so as I'm saying, today we are going to study about media laws and ethics. I am Martsu at ako ang inyong kasama sa inyong pag-aaral. Sabay nating aralin ito. First, we have to understand what is mass media. So, in the definition projected in your screen, we will understand that mass media pertains to technology or any form that is responsible for information or communication dissemination. So most likely the purpose of mass media talaga is to inform. Obviously, not just to inform but also to communicate. So there is a thin line between understanding communication and information, because more like when we speak of information, it is one-way process of communication, while the communication in itself stems from parang a conversation or engage. Yeah, it engages on series of communication or series of information being transmuted. So yung mass media, yun yung kanyang focus. So the focus of our study today is also pertaining to the medium on where we can find the businesses on communication, or the medium on how communication in itself transpires. Now, types of mass media, there are several types of mass media. Firstly, yung pinakaluma talaga is the printed materials. Because even before, even before during those times na wala pang mga TV, television, radio, and of course, latecomer na yung ating internet connection, is nauuso yung mga, hindi nauuso, kung hindi, they do not have any other means aside from printed materials. So, newspapers and other forms of parang yung mga parchment, mga ganun. But the problem with this particular type of mass media is that it happens to be limited. Limited in a sense na hindi naman lahat marunong bumasa. Or dati kasi yung mga newspapers, accessible sila sa mga mayayaman. Hindi naman lahat mayaman, hindi naman lahat marunong bumasa. May mga iba, for example, may mga kapansanan sila sa mata. So, hindi sila nakakabasa ng mga printed material. That is why, even so, the practice of um, newspapers, or the practice of printed materials as a medium of communication is widespread in the entire world. Still, hindi niya nare-reach out lahat-lahat. So, because of that particular dilemma na improve sila, nagkaroon ng radio. Tapos, after ng radio, ayun na, meron ng mga music, meron ng mga narration. So, nag-evolve na din yung discipline of communication, kasi hindi lang nila ina-exercise yung kanilang written skills but also the verbal skills. But however, when they thought na they provoked, or they utilize the sound, what if we go deeper and utilize the visuals? So visuals in a sense na makikita na nila yung nagsasalita. So what happened is that they invented the television. So in television, noon makikita mo yung mga reporters, yung mismong actual scene kung saan nangyari or saan yung center ng balita. Say for example, the news. So the mass media is actually evolving through time, from the printed material to audio material to video material, and until it reaches internet. Alam nyo naman, sa internet, kompleto na yun lahat. You can have your or you can have yung parang texts, the photos, videos, sound, audio. So ando na lahat, kasi in our modern time, ito na ang practice. Nasa internet na lahat. Pati nga yung pag-aaral nasa internet na. Pati tayo ngayon nasa internet na. So, that's why we can see talaga that mass media is evolving through time. And these are the types of mass media. To reiterate, meron tayong printed material or the newspaper, radio, television, and of course, yung internet. Now, what is or what are the significant impacts of mass media? So, most likely talaga ang ang aim or ang malaking hatak ng mass media is regarding on influence. So when we speak of mass media, it actually pertains to awareness, influence. Kasi say for example, merong isang pangyayari, that particular situation, such for example, in a political setup, hindi lalaganap sa buong bansa yan kung hindi ipapublish, kung hindi ibabalita. So because of the performances of our um, media man, kumakalat siya at naiimpluwensyahan yung utak ng public, ganito pala itong taong ito, this and that. Or they will be aware, mataas na pala ang level ng alert level ng General Santos dahil sa COVID COVID status nila. So ayun talaga, awareness and influence. And you know what, in the life of anyone, awareness and influence are two key factors that keeps us, make a wise decision. Because, when you are aware, when you are aware of your surroundings, the factual setup of where you are, you can immediately decide. And aside from that, influence can be a good source of decision making too, because kung halimbawa so for example, absent yung awareness, tapos because you were being influenced by someone, say for good, that influence is for good. So kahit na hindi ka aware, kahit na wala kang alam sa nangyayari sa paligid mo, you will be, kumbaga, parang you will be influenced to decide a good decision over that particular matter. So that's why social media is also significant, because it provides awareness and influence. Now, how about laws? Since we've already discussed about mass media, let's also discuss about laws. So when we speak of laws, the understanding of it are in two sense. Laws in its strict sense and laws in its general sense. So when we speak of laws in its general sense, this is more like the philosophical perspective of law. It talks about the standard of morals, body of rules, ganun sila. While when we speak of specific or strict sense, it talks about parang mas rigid definition of law. Sabi nga nila, according to Sanchez-Roman, law is a rule of conduct, just and obligatory, promulgated by the legitimate authority for the common observance and benefits. So from that definition, we classify a particular rule of conduct as whether it is a law or not by using by testing it, whether it complies to all the elements necessary to warrant the existence of a law. So according to Sanchez-Roman, it should be a rule of conduct. That's the first element. And not just the rule of conduct, or not just being a rule of conduct, but also it must be just and obligatory. That's the second element, just and obligatory. The third one is it should be promulgated by the legitimate authority. So hindi lang siya basta-basta na pinopromulgate ng kung sino-sino lang. It should be the legitimate authority. So in the Philippines, the legitimate authority, for example, is the Philippine government. And last, for the common observance and benefits. You have to remember that the purpose of the law, always the purpose of the law is for the common observance and benefits. Okay? So when we speak of the first element, it refers to the character. So it should be a rule of conduct. Ibig sabihin, para siyang batayan, no? Standard of what an action must be. Kasi it is a rule of conduct, pwede ito, bawal ito, pwede kang mangutang pero bawal magpatubo ng sobrang laki, mga ganong factor, it's a rule of conduct. It is actually a regulation. And just and obligatory, that's the second element. It refers to the the degree or the effect of the character of that particular conduct. Hindi siya dapat oppressive, hindi siya dapat unfair, hindi siya dapat selective. It should be just and obligatory. Ibig sabihin, hindi din siya dapat um, pili-pili lang kung susundin mo o hindi. It must be, dapat sundin talaga siya. Dapat may ngipin yung ating batas. So, the third one is promulgated by the legitimate authority. Ayun na nga, as I explained earlier, hindi basta-basta kung sino-sino lang ang nagpo-promulgate ng mga batas. And lastly, for the common observance and benefits. Now, let us talk about foundations of law. What are the foundations of law? Actually, law is a product of social life and a creation of human nature. Actually, it is actually intended by man to serve man. So, it is more like a harmony of regulation, no, to ensure peace, to ensure harmony, to ensure good relationship between and among ourselves. Kaya, yan talaga ang foundation ng batas. Actually, parang it follows yung social contract theory. If you remember your political science, if we all remember our political science class, there's this social contract theory na sinasabi kung saan ang sabi doon, lahat ng magkakapareho ang interest, nagkukumpul-kumpul sila at gumagawa sila ng sarili nilang body of rules, naniniwala sila sa sarili nilang mga prinsipyo. So, actually, yung ginagawa nila actually is, or yung kanilang reason on why they tie themselves up with each other is actually a good foundation of law. Because the aim for the law talaga is, to obtain peace and prosperity, harmony, good relationship. So, yun talaga ang good foundation ng law. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng mag-legislate or mag-promulgate ng isang batas na ang result nun is instead of ensuring good relationship, you will sever or you will sever good relationships and instead replace it with bad relationship with your fellows. Law and morals, actually, hindi naman talaga lahat-lahat regulated by law. Sabi natin, di ba, it's a rule of conduct. Law is a rule of conduct. But actually, hindi naman talaga lahat kasi there are other conducts that are not regulated by law but only regulated by morals and rules on religion. So, actually, kung titingnan natin, ang dinidiscuss niya dito na concept of law is yung strict sense. Because yung concept kasi ng law in its general sense or its broad sense, lahat ito cover niya. Sa religion, may batas. Even sa morality, kahit anong uri ng morality yan, may batas pa rin yan. Pero what this screen contemplates is that in a specific sense wherein it talks about the legal discipline or the legal profession. Sinasabi niya dito na hindi lang ang legality ang main source of conduct. Pwede ding maging main source or pwede ding mabilang sa mga sources ang morality and religion. Ayun na nga kasi the laws and the morals have parang common denominator. Actually, stems from human conscience or concept of happiness. Yun talaga yung kanilang primary basis on establishing the rules, the body of rules. So, in summary, we already we already know na morals, laws, religions are rule of conduct, but they come from different stems. So, ito naman tayo sa purpose. The purpose of laws and moral is basically the same. Happiness, which cannot exist for man except for a stable and, to have, kagaya nga ng explanation natin kanina, yun talaga ang mga primary na mga um, indication of the law in itself. So, this is the lesson for now. I hope na okay lang ang aking delivery. If you want me to improve more, just let me know in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a good day and stay safe.